What's going on, everybody? Welcome back and thank you for watching. Today we are going to be shooting more ribs, and I did a video with these last week and it seemed like you guys liked that video quite a bit, so I figured I would shoot these a little bit more. But today we are shooting shotguns, and obviously these are way more powerful than the 9mm that we were using last week, so this should be pretty cool. Let's get started. Alright, so I got them ribs hanging on a plate hanger back there behind me, and we got two different shotguns we're going to shoot today, the 20 gauge and the 12 gauge. And for those of you that don't know, the 12 gauge is the more powerful of the two. You can see the bigger barrel on that one. So we're going to start with the smaller 20 gauge and work our way up. This is actually my girlfriend's little Remington 870 20 gauge that I got her a couple years ago. Super sweet little gun, and we are just going to start with some birdshot. Another awesome thing about shotguns is you can do this. Alright, so there's our wad right there, and you can see all those tiny little pellets from that birdshot. Didn't really damage it a whole lot, just made a bunch of tiny little holes in it. And a lot of those did go all the way through, but again, that didn't do a whole lot of damage. Alright, let's try some number 3 buckshot. Alright, looks like that's probably a piece from our wad up there, but you can see down here where those buckshot pellets hit that they made much bigger holes. Went straight through. There's a couple really big holes right there, and you can see the spread too, which is why people like shotguns so much. Go around to the back, and again, really big exit holes compared to that birdshot. Alright, let's see what a 20 gauge slug will do. It says these are going about 1,600 feet per second, so should be pretty cool. Alright guys, so it looks like I was aiming a little towards the right, but it took a huge chunk right out of those ribs. Bone, meat, all of it just completely disintegrated it. You can see there's bones, probably 3 bones right there that it took completely off when it hit those ribs. Super devastating. And again, same thing on the back side. Just took a huge chunk right out of those ribs. Alright, I hung a new rack of ribs up, and we are going to move on to the 12 gauge. This is the Weatherby pump action 12 gauge shotgun. This is actually a family member's as well. You guys know I have the Benelli, but that's a super long barrel, and I wanted to use the same size barrel since we are comparing the 12 gauge and the 20 gauge. So we're going to start with some 12 gauge birdshot. And here's the front of those ribs from that 12 gauge birdshot. Definitely did more damage than the 20 gauge did. Let's go around to the back. And some of them made it through, but it doesn't look like a lot of those even made it all the way through. The back definitely doesn't look as chewed up as the front does. Alright, let's try some 12 gauge double aught buck. Now this is impressive. You can see that it just tore the crap out of those ribs and put enormous holes in there. Looks like almost all those pellets hit those ribs. I'm probably 5 or 7 yards away, and we definitely got 8 or 9 pellets on there. You can see just how big those holes are, and some huge exit holes on that backside as well. Most of them hit around the edges, but we did get 2 or 3 right there in the middle. Alright, let's try a 1 ounce 12 gauge slug. These are also going 1,600 feet per second, so the same velocity as a 20 gauge, but these things kick like crazy. And look at that hole from that 12 gauge slug. That is crazy. It's about the size of a baseball. And I mean, you can see that's my fist, and I could easily fit that in there. That's just super impressive. Let's go around to the back. And again, just demolished it. You can see the ribs better back here. It looks like it took out probably 3 or 4 ribs, and every bit of meat on that side of those ribs. So super impressive. All right, so I got one more shotgun shell that I thought would be fitting for this video. This is a 12 gauge Dragon's Breath, and so I figured since we've tenderized that meat, let's see if we can cook it a little bit. This is the first time I've ever shot Dragon's Breath, and for those of you that don't know, it's just it's supposed to be a ton of really hot sparks. So let's see what it does. You can see where that Dragon's Breath hit right there. Most of it looks like it hit towards the middle, and it actually made a really big hole and definitely burnt that meat a little bit. I didn't think it was going to make a hole like that. I thought that it would just kind of bounce off, but it definitely put a big hole in it. I'm sure that might be from the wad, but still. And again, definitely cooked those ribs a little bit. Well, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here, guys. Thank you all for watching. I hope you liked the video. Obviously, we just did kind of a fun one today, and I figured I would get a couple shotguns out for a change and see what kind of damage we could do to those ribs. As you can see, super devastating guns, and I love shooting shotguns. I just don't get them out as much as I would like to anymore, so figured I would get those out today and bring you guys along. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up for me. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.